Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2025 Hyundai Santa Cruz all-wheel drive in the limited trim level. This vehicle is sitting on 245/50 Michelin tires wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels with a gloss black finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Sage Gray. Pretty interesting. And it looks more like a green than gray, which is good. Kind of looks like the Halo truck. A lot of people have mentioned that. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting color. Hopefully you can see it. The sun's kind of fading quickly here today. So they did some redesigns on the Santa Cruz, and it looks really good. I think that a lot of people are going to like it. It's not massive differences, but there is some differences here. And this area, they maintain the lights in this area. This one has some chrome in the grille. There's a camera right in here. Radar adaptive cruise control sensor is here. Now the headlight system, basically it has these accent lights here, but the headlights are down here. And it's a quad projector system for the low and the high beams. So it's basically two projectors for the low beams, two projectors for the high beams. And I have a night video on the previous gen, but I plan on doing one on this one. So if you want to check it out, see how these perform at nighttime, and just overall, all the lights, including the ambient lights on the inside, that'll all be included in the night video if you want to check it out. I really like the styling. It looks really cool. It's fun to drive. I think it looks better and it's more fun to drive than the Ridgeline. It does have some drawbacks as compared to the Ridgeline, but it is actually more fun to drive. Faster, more acceleration, and I think it looks cool. Looks really good. So here on the side, we do have some cladding, and it has this little Santa Cruz image here. Pretty cool. And it's kind of contoured, like comes in and then it contours in. So it's not just flat. It has a lot of contours and shapes and styles to this vehicle that, unless you really look at it at the right angle, you may not notice. So yeah, that cladding continues there all the way to the back. We also have new wheels for the 2025 model. Looking nice, 20-inch. So it does have the body colored handles, side mirrors are body colored. There's black roof rails, matte black pillars here connecting the windows. It has this massive little pillar right there. And you can see it kind of contours up. So it's a little bit of a blind spot a little bit, but adds to the style of the vehicle. Very small back seat, just right off the bat before we even get to it. That's one of the things that is a challenge for this vehicle. It's the back seat room. Has remote start, lock, unlock, panic button, the ability to drop the tailgate, which is pretty cool. There's no physical key on the inside. It comes with a separate key, little key right here. But yeah, you can keep it with you if you want to. It's a little bit bulky. I don't really care for the size. It's not very heavy, but it's a little bit too bulky for my preference. But it's rounded and easy to keep in your pocket if it wasn't for the huge bulk. And the way it's designed is you can use the vehicle 100%, and you lock it by placing your finger over this little sensor right here. It senses the key and it locks the vehicle. To unlock it, has a sensor back here. So it's pretty intuitive as far as locking and unlocking the door. The doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle, and there's actually a seal down here as well. And this keeps the threshold fairly clean. Here's the inside of the door. Now it has a combination of mostly black and then this white color here, this light color, but this is like a cloth here on the door. So probably a good idea to put some kind of, stain resistant Scotch Guard or something on it, because it feels like that kind of cloth where it feels good and durable and everything, but it could potentially get dirty and might not be as easy to clean. I might be wrong about that, but yeah, it feels good, it looks good, but just a little suggestion there. Now this is like a vinyl type material here, soft touch surface. This is kind of rubbery injection molding type stuff. Vinyl type here, and it's like soft, but it's like not super soft. It's not like a pillow. It's like super, it's like, I don't know. It's all right, I guess. This is a handle, but you can utilize that as a pocket as well. It has a little rubber mat at the bottom. Have some gloss black there, hard touch surfaces here at the bottom. Now it has this bottle holder that's kind of angled. I don't really care for that. It kind of takes away from the design of this pocket in the bottom. But yeah, I mean, it's all right, but you know, we wish that was designed a little bit better. Now this one has the Bose sound system. It sounds really good. Pretty impressed with it. There's a speaker here in the pillar and one here at the bottom. All right, so it has a power seat here. It goes up, down, tilt to back. So a lot of functionality there on a passenger seat anyway. Then you have these, what appears to be leather seats. The window sticker has like 0 information on it. It doesn't even have a price. But yeah, the look like a leather seat and has like this really cool looking piping right here as well. And they're heated, ventilated, and they look good. Yeah, the perforations there, the stitching all look nice. I'll put all the trim information in the description, you know, trim by trim, so you can see what the difference is in all these trim levels. There's the legroom here. You can see some tapering going on right there, but overall not bad. Hard touch surfaces here, as well as here. Non-locking glove compartment. Smooth plastic on the inside, and pretty good size as well. There's a light in there, a little spoiler for the night video. We have more of that cloth in here, and I love this shelf. The only thing about this shelf is it's smooth plastic, so whatever you put in there is going to slide around. And then you have a kind of rubbery, soft, non-reflective dash here. But yeah, I like the way they did with the new interior. This one does have the sunroof. So you can see the opening here in the front is no problem getting in and out. It's very easy to get the seat off the ground and everything. It's just very easy to hop in, hop out. You're not bumping your head or anything. The swing of the door is nice. The back seat, the swing of the door should be a little bit wider considering how small of an area you have here. You can see the front seats are like encroaching on the back seat area. So yeah, it's a little bit of an issue. Now these front seats are all the way back. So, you know, it's taken away. If you compromise there in the front, you'll have a little bit more legroom here in the back, but that's the way I have it set up for me to drive. Here's the inside of the back door. Hard touch surfaces, more of that cloth, soft, hard touch surface. There's a little cup holder, I like that. And then a little compartment there, or pocket. So here's the back seat, and you can see it's kind of a little bit of an issue. It does have the latch system for car seats, here on the outer seats there. Then we have the armrest and cup holders, nice and soft here. I wish the doors are that soft for the armrest. But yeah, these seats look pretty good. Then we have the net pockets back here, hard touch surfaces here, the net pocket, 2 USB-C ports back here, significant hump. We do have the climate control there, or climate vents anyway. Manually sliding glass. The seats lift up, and there's storage compartment here, and the jack and the tools on that side. But yeah, it's like a little plastic bin. I mean, you can unscrew it, take it out if you want to use that space under the seat. Looks like somebody had like a dog in here or something. But yeah, kind of seats kind of flip up, and I'm surprised they cleared these front seats the way they look. Looking at the back of the vehicle, you can see it has a gloss black shark fin antenna right here. Then you can see it has this rear spoiler, and then the roof rails, stuff like that. Third brake light is in that rear spoiler. Then there's a manual sliding glass here. This one has the cover that slides back. It's pretty cool. I like it. It feels pretty durable, feels solid. And you have that hard plastic here, looking good. The tailgate locks with the vehicle. So when the vehicle's locked, the tailgate's locked. Now it will sense the key if you have the key with you and unlock the tailgate. Now that I went and got the key, I walk up, I can press this button and it'll release it. So yeah, it senses the key here on the tailgate as well as the front doors. So back here it has a combination of LED and standard bulbs for the taillights. Down here are reflectors, And then right next to that is the reverse lights in this low position. There's actually 2 of them, here and here. So it works pretty good. You can check out my night video if you want to see how all the lights work on this vehicle. I love these steps. It helps you get in the bed of the truck. You can step up there, really nice. Love that design. The exhaust is fairly well hidden. I mean, you can still see it. Okay, so the backup camera is a little bit offset. I wish it was in the middle, but there it is. And so this tailgate is just a button. It's an electronic button. You just press it. So it's not like a mechanical lever or anything like that. And it has this composite bed. So I'm going to make a lot of comparisons with the Ridgeline because there's a lot of, this is basically the only thing you can compare it to. And so yeah, we're going to compare it a little bit. But right here, you can see it where it says slide, so you can release it like that, and then we can push it like so. Open it up, and I like the way it has this little strap, so you can grab it and pull it and relatch it without walking around to the side. So yeah, pretty cool. Okay, so this bed, it is not that big to begin with, and then you add this cover that rolls up. That little area over there kind of takes away quite a bit of the bed space. So from that bed cover to the end here we're talking like 3 feet, you know, and that's really like less than 3 feet when you close the tailgate. Now, so that's if you have the cover. Now the full bed, the actual bed itself, go all the way up here and then back here. So it's about 51 inches or so. And if we go back here to drop the tailgate, then we have a little bit over 6 feet. So 6 feet, 2.5 inches from there. But that's on the bottom. So you can see how there's some limitations here. Now we do have some fixed tie downs. We have some movable tie downs there on the side. There's also these little compartments here on the side as well. So this comes in handy. Put some tie straps or gloves or whatever in these. There's one on each side. This one has a power inverter in it. There's also places to put like a 2x4 in here. And you can see these little guys right here, these little wheel wells. So the big question is, between these wheel wells here at the bottom, it is 3 feet, 6 inches. So we're not laying a sheet of plywood down on the bottom. Now, what you could do is you can lay it on the wheel wells there. So it'll be a little bit wider in that area. Between the wheel wells here is about 4 feet, 1 inch, something like that. It's sagging in the middle, so it's not a precise measurement, but it's definitely over 4 feet. So you could put a sheet of plywood here. And if you do that, you can lift the tailgate up to this higher position here and go ahead and latch it here, like so. Now, the top of the tailgate right here is supposed to be in line with those wheel wells. So that way, you can put the sheet and it'll rest on this tailgate. To me, that's a little bit, you know, not ideal, right? A couple sheets maybe of plywood, not really sheetrock maybe. You'd have to support it in the middle really, because you're taking a chance. But yeah, it's not really made for stacking up huge amounts of plywood or sheetrock or anything. This is like in a pinch, you can fit it in here type of situation. But yeah, that's the way it's designed. So comparing it to the Ridgeline, you can just lay sheets of plywood in the bottom. Just put them in there like a regular truck, like a full-size truck, really. So, you know, the Ridgeline will be more practical for that use. Another thing about it, this vehicle, is it doesn't have the tailgate that swings sideways. It just drops like a normal tailgate. And the Ridgeline is a little bit better if you need that access to the bed by swinging it to the side, it has that capability. Now this one has, like the Ridgeline, a little place here, a little trunk, which is great, but it's very small compared to the Ridgeline. So, you know, accessing it, you have to kind of lean over the tailgate to get to it. That's one thing. So it's not as easy to access as the Ridgeline. It's much, much, much smaller. So just getting groceries and putting in here, like, you know, you have to like lay down your milk and stuff. It's very, very small. It's not really as useful as you would think. I mean, it is useful, but it's like a special use case scenario. Unlike the Ridgeline, where you can like use it for all kinds of stuff. It does have a drain here, but yeah, it's you know, it's usable. But you know, I think the you know, it depends on your needs, right? If you don't need like in my particular case, when I bought a Ridgeline, it's because of this trunk area. Now this one wouldn't work for me. So, you know, there's a deciding factor right there. It just wouldn't work in the way that I wanted it in the other vehicle. But yeah, it does have this little latch here, and it locks with the vehicle just like the tailgate. So everything's secure and everything, and it stays dry. You can see all this pollen and everything here in the bed, but the inside of that compartment is completely, perfectly clean. So all that's good. You know, it's designed well in that way. While I have the tape measure handy, let's just measure the height here. So it's about 7 inches deep, a little bit under. And then the width here is about 3 feet wide at its widest, you know. So it's a little bit contoured there and rounded. So yeah, at its widest, that's 3 feet. So it's just the depth is really the issue here. Now going this way, it is about 16 inches or so at its widest. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it locks with the vehicle. When we hit the unlock button, it'll unlock. And it has a traditional cap, tether, and a little place to hang the cap here on the inside of the door. Now, you can use regular fuel on this vehicle. That's what it's recommended. Me personally, since it's a turbocharged engine, would use premium fuel for longevity and all that stuff. As long as you have the key inside the vehicle, hold the brake, press the button, start it up. It also has a fingerprint reader here as well. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now you notice this floor mat snaps in place, or hooks in place here, keeping it straight for you. I'm sliding around. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, footrest here. Now on the Honda Ridgeline, the footrest is a little bit small, so kind of not as comfortable as this one. Let's take a look under the hood. Now you can see those accent lights I was talking about. Looking pretty cool. So to open the hood, there's a latch a little bit to the right of center. So just reach in, move it to the left, and lift up. You see there's a latch right there. Pretty heavy hood, and it does require a prop to hold it up. Here's the prop here on the left side, and it swings up to right where that arrow is pointing. There's insulation under the hood. There's also a seal across the back, mostly on the back. Looks like not much seals though, just on the back there. Insulated firewall. There's also heat shielding back there because that's where the turbocharger is. There's the battery there on the right side. It's easy to get to. Now the suspension towers are braced together. I don't know if you can see that. It's behind that plastic. It is solidly braced. Now this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, but the orientation of the engine is this way. So this is the front, that's the back, and then the transmission is down there. So it's oriented like a front-wheel drive. You see that turbocharger, very visible. This one has the 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, puts out 281 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. It is really impressive, the acceleration. And it has an 8-speed dual clutch transmission, which kind of adds to the exhilarating drive. It has the H-Track all-wheel drive system. So this is standard on XRT and Limited. It is optional on other trims as well. And the towing capacity is 5,000 pounds. That's pretty decent. That's on the 2.5 liter turbocharged with the all-wheel drive system only. The 2.5 liter without the turbo is 3,500 pounds. Let's have the blind spot detection system and little indicators here on the side mirror. Illuminates when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. Now the inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. There's 2 presets for the power seat, Power windows are here, so it's one touch up and down here in the front. It's non-laminated glass. The back doors, you do have to hold it, and they go all the way down, the windows. It does have the privacy glass back there. The door locks are here. Side mirrors are adjusted. You just pick a side and adjust with that little pad. Now, if you don't want the mirrors to tilt when you put it in reverse, you just put it back into the center position. That way they won't tilt. I don't really care for that. I like to keep them fixed. So the driver's seat is powered just like the other one, except for it has a two-way lumbar adjustment. So yeah, look good, feel good. These are pretty good seats. Here to the left of the steering column, there's a few buttons. There's also a fuse panel here. Dimmer switch for the interior gauges is here. And then you have the bed lighting, which you can turn on. You can turn off the traction control. Default will be on. And then right here is for the tow mode. There's also a tilt and telescoping steering column. So I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I'm 6 feet tall, and I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. Here in the front is fine. I really have to pull it up just a little bit, but so if you're a little bit over 6 feet, you shouldn't have any problem driving this vehicle. It's just it diminishes the room in the back a lot when you start pushing the seats all the way back. As you saw earlier, it's not much room back there once you start putting the seats back. So if you're shorter and you can pull the seat forward, that'll help out with having, you know, passengers in the back seat for sure. So now the steering wheel, it is a heated steering wheel. Feels good, looks good. It has the leather wrapping here, little stitching there on the inside. It doesn't stick out too much. A little bit of a bump right there. It has like this grip effect. I don't really care for that bump. This one's fine. That's kind of normal, but this one kind of like, you know, sometimes I hold the steering wheel right there and it's kind of like pushing into my hand. It's a little bit thin here, but yeah, it's nice. It's a good steering wheel. It's just my personal preferences. I don't really care for these little grips here at the bottom. It's not really necessary. But yeah, pretty cool. Has the paddle shifters here on the back with the dual clutch transmission. That makes sense. Here on the left side is the cruise control. So you turn it on and you can set, resume, and cancel and all that stuff. Set this distance between you and the vehicle here, and then the lane keep assist system. This little pages button, okay, and this little scroll wheel corresponds with the screen. We'll get to that in a second. The volume for the radios on the side, change to the tracks. Now this volume little scroll wheel, I don't know what it is, but maybe it's just my imagination, but it seems like they've improved that. Like some of them, it doesn't have enough grippiness to it. So when you're trying to scroll it, you accidentally press in and mute the radio when you're trying to adjust the volume. This one just feels like it has a little bit better texture for some reason. Maybe, I don't know, you know, maybe it's just my imagination, but maybe they've improved that. Now you have this little button right here that you can customize. And then this one is the phone button. Now it's a single button for answering or hanging up. So you just press the button to answer. When you're finished, press it again to hang up. I prefer a dedicated hang up button, but it's just having one is fine, I guess. The mode will be your audio source. You can change it here. And then the voice recognition is here. So you can hit that and then you can say the commands. Windshield wiper controls are here. Here on the left side is the turn signal. But it also has the headlight switch. It's off, automatic parking headlights. And I have a night video to show you all the different features of the vehicle. One of the cool things about it though is that when you turn it, this switch, it shows you here on the screen. So let's say it's dark, you can't see this stalk right here. It does show up on the screen to show you what you're doing. I like that. I like the way they added that. Okay, so here is basically a screen, which is your gauge cluster. This is the modern style. Now, under the settings here, you can have simple, modern, and classic, and then you have different styles here. It's not huge differences on the styles, but let's see here. Let's go to simple, modern, classic, and then you have style A, B, and C. There's a simple, style A, B, and C. And then the modern will be A, B, and C. So you have some level of customization here. It's kind of cool, I guess. But yeah, It looks pretty cool. I mean, the use of colors is nice, and you know, the placement of everything, like your digital speedometer and stuff. Now you notice if you go to Classic, we don't have a digital speedometer anymore, but yeah, it's okay though. Now this center information right here, we hit this Pages button, and we have the scroll wheel, Pages button, scroll wheel, and then you can press in OK and make selections. So right now, I'm just gonna hit the Pages button so you can see there's 3 different pages. So the first one was this information, the second one is a digital compass, the third one is the lane keep assist system and adaptive cruise control, in which you can go into the settings from there. But this first one, you can scroll up and down and get more information. So you can see I have 23.5 miles per gallon average since refueling, tire pressure, power distribution, so where the power is going to the front of the back. Since it's an all-wheel drive vehicle, it's typically to the front, but sometimes to the back. And then you have your current trip, which you can reset. So yeah, there's the different options there. And of course, you use the Pages button to make different views there as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Has different options there. It has the outside temperature and what gear you're in, just normal stuff like that. Fuel gauge, distance to empty, engine coolant temperature, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. Now this screen, let's go back to the home here, and we kind of swipe through so you can see what it looks like. You can also swipe down from the top and get some quick controls. Hit that right there. You can change your profile settings. It also has a QR code to an online manual. So the navigation map is here, and you can hit this right here, and you can get nearby info, traffic, that kind of stuff if you want. Save locations, online manual, once again just a QR code. We can do searches here as a full keyboard. Let's go back home. The next will be your media, so whatever what you're playing. It has AM, FM, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth audio, that kind of stuff, satellite radio. Let's see what the screen looks like here. And then you have your channels, you have categories, and then you can go through different audio sources there at the bottom. And then your phone will be right there. Once you pair your phone, you have access to that. Phone projection will be Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can do voice memos, which is kind of cool. This is really cool because let's say you're driving and you just like have this brilliant idea and you don't have time to write it down or whatever, nobody to tell it to. So you can just hit this and record your voice and save it for later. Subscribe to Mike's Car Info on YouTube. Alright, so now it's saved. So now in the future you can refer back to all your genius ideas, which I like. I come up with stuff that I want to remember and then I forget, and I'm like, what was it that I wanted to remember? And then, so this is a really cool feature. You can also go in here and check out the weather, that kind of stuff. Sports, valet mode, and then you have your setup here at the very end for all your different options there. Set up your vehicle the way you want it. Then you have Hyundai Pay, vehicle diagnostics, service maintenance, HD radio information, notifications, and an online manual. Once again, it's just a QR code. It doesn't have an actual manual on the screen, unfortunately. It'd be nice if it was searchable, you know, like on the screen. Like, you know, some vehicles do have that. So that's kind of a quick rundown of what it looks like here on the screen, how to use it. It's fairly simple and, you know, feature rich at the same time. All right, so down here we have physical buttons. You have a physical volume knob tuned to the stations, but you also have physical shortcuts to different places on this screen. So if you don't want to be swiping around, you just want to press a button and go straight there, you can do that. And then your climate control is below that. There's a little bit of a glare on the camera, but it's not showing up on my eyes. There we go. So the driver and passenger temperatures are here, and it shows the temperature there, and it has an automatic function, high, medium, and low automatic, as far as the fan. And then you can sync the driver and passenger by pressing this button here, and then you can unsync it by pressing it again, or you can just start turning the passenger temperature and it'll just automatically unsync it. Fan speed, where you want the air to blow, front and rear defrosters, You have heated seats, ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, and it's a high, medium, and low. So it's a 3-stage heated and cooled seat. And then the steering wheel is a 2-stage, so high and low and off. A lot of heated steering wheels are just on or off. This one actually has a high and low. You also have recirculate the air there as well. So down here, we have some USB-C ports. Now, this one is just charging. So just charging your phone or something, you plug in here. This one, right now, it's just charging, but if I press this pad right here, it switches it and turns that color amber. Now it's charging and it's connecting with the system. So sometimes you don't want to, you want to plug your phone in, you don't want to start the whole process of, you know, installing Android Auto or Apple CarPlay and all that stuff. You just want to charge, so you can turn that connection off if you need to. Now you notice these little status lights right here. That's because my cell phone is in the wireless charger down here, and it's charging even with my thick case that I have on it. It does a really good job of charging in this charger. There's also a 12-volt power supply here as well. There's a little storage compartment here, and then I can show you what my cell phone, take that out and you can see what it looks like in here. But yeah, it did a good job of you know, making it charge every single time I put my cell phone on the charger, which is not a given anymore. Like some vehicles, it's a little bit of a hassle. So here's the cup holders, and it has these little tensioners in there, and they don't dig in so much. Like here's a styrofoam cup, I put it in place, pull it out, it's not digging in there. So that's kind of like a plus. Some vehicles, it's like you have a hot cup of coffee in a styrofoam cup, you push it in there, and it's like when you're pulling it out, it feels like it's digging in, it's going to tear into the side of the cup. So this one doesn't really have that problem. It feels really good. Holds it in place without, you know, digging in too much, gripping too much when you're, you know, trying to move it out. So here's the shifter, and we put it in reverse. A couple of things will happen. One is the parking sensors will be active. Another thing is this really good camera system is now active as well. So we can see behind the vehicle. We can see a top-down view as well. And the clarity just looks so good. And we have different options here. So we have this view in which you can kind of like move around and see what's around the vehicle. And of course, this vehicle that it's showing is not an actual real view of the vehicle, but it gives you just like a stand-in there, and then it shows you surroundings here. So you can kind of like look around this way, or you can look around this way. And you can actually drive a little bit and drive with this view as well. This could come in handy for maybe off-road or tight conditions, that kind of stuff. But you also have this top-down view here, that view, the side view. So these are the back tires here, and so it basically takes out the vehicle and just shows you the sides. And then you have a super wide view there in the back. So if we put it in drive, we can have the front view, and the same thing, we can have the top-down view, front side. So that's actually the front wheel. So as I turn the steering wheel, you can see the wheels turn. So we can see if we're like a super close the curb or something like that, we can keep an eye on it here so we don't mess up our vehicle. And then you have this super wide front view here. So yeah, really good functionality here, and I like the way you can maintain that that top-down view there on the side. Now there's another camera feature this vehicle has, and that is when you put the turn signal on, it's going to give you a blind spot camera. So you can see right here in your blind spot. Let's go ahead and turn to the right. So now we can see to the right. So not only can we look out for vehicles, but this also kind of helps out as you're driving to see right where, like say, a curb is, if we're making a turn or something like that. It is handy to have that view even when you're not looking out for cars. It's just a handy camera system to have, and it's basically using the same camera system to give you those views. So it's basically has a camera in the front, camera in the back, and one on underside each mirror, basically. So it's just 4 cameras, but it's able to give you all these different views with those 4 cameras. So really well done. All right, so yeah, the shifter is pretty straightforward, neutral drive, and then you can have a little manual mode where you can do like a ratchet shifter here. Here's the drive modes, and basically it has normal, sport, smart, which is like an eco mode, and then snow mode. Normal mode to me is fine. Sport will give you a little bit better acceleration and stuff, or like if you're coming in hot on a corner and then you want to when you punch out of it, that kind of stuff, the sport mode might be a little bit better. But overall, the normal drive mode is fine for me. Some vehicles, the normal drive mode is just too much reduced and it's just not fun to drive. This one doesn't have that problem. All right, so you have a downhill descent here for off-road use only, and then you have a center differential lock. So this would be more for more extreme off-road situations. Auto hold, auto brake hold basically, and then this is a quick access button for your camera. So let's say we're in park right now, but we want to pull up the camera. We can just press that button. We can look at the camera system. Now, we can also, let's say we're pulling into a parking spot, we can quickly just press that button, and then that way we can keep an eye on things as we're creeping into a parking spot and nail it, you know. Or if there's a shopping cart or something that you want to keep an eye on when you're pulling in, or, you know, whatever, being able to just quickly pull up that camera system whenever you want is excellent, not just when you know, in reversing or whatever. Now there's electronic parking brake here, and we can lift it up to engage it, and engages the rear wheels. Press and hold the brake and push it down to release it. Now this right here, the armrest is not super soft, right? It feels like a rubber tire, really. But it's okay. It's contoured nicely, but it feels a little bit softer, more like a pillow or whatever. It'd be better, I think. Press that button and it pops up, and this doesn't slap back down. It kind of stays wherever you leave it. It comes up to here, and then you have the center compartment here. Now get this rag out of the way on my business cards. But yeah, it has like this little quick access tray here and a compartment, and the tray can come out. And the dedicated place for the tray is back here in the back. But like so, that's the normal spot for it, but you can put it anywhere if you want. But yeah, it has like a little felt lining in the bottom. There's no connectivity or anything, no charge ports, and there's no place for wires to go in and out of the compartment anyway. So just pretty much straightforward place to put stuff. Junk drawer of the vehicle, basically. But yeah, it's all right. No light in there. A little spoiler for the night video, there's no light at nighttime. Okay, so it has an auto dim rear view mirror, HomeLink garage door opener controls on the underside. It's actually auto dimming right now because I have the shade over the light sensor, which is right here on the back side here on that side. All right, so we have the roadside assistance buttons here. We have interior lights. We can have them turn on with the door, or we can turn that feature off with that button. That's the off button. Individual reading lights, and these work fairly well at nighttime. And then you have the sunroof button there. We'll get to that in a second. The visor is like a vinyl type material. Headliner is a cloth. They're both black, but they're different materials here. And I like the way this is a vinyl because you're touching this frequently, and it's easy to clean, and it's more durable. Has a little clip here, large mirror, and the light turns on separately. And if you accidentally leave the light on like that and you lift this up, it'll turn it off. It just kind of bumps it and turns it off. It also slides out, gives you very good coverage all the way to the end. Basically the same thing on the other side. Okay, so this sunroof, it has a manual shade that blocks 100% of the light. If you want to open it up, there's a single button here, so we can press in on it to tilt it up, push it forward to go down, and then we can pull it back to slide it back. Pull it back again. Okay, that's as far back as it goes. And I like the way the shade covers 100% of the light. And I like this manual because like it takes like a second to close it. You don't have to sit there and like wait for it to open and close on a powered one, you know. All right, so looking at the visibility here in the back, that pillar right there is a little thick, something to get used to, especially when it lines up the headrest there. But, you know, considering the parking sensors, the very good camera system, blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, all that stuff, I haven't had any problem driving the vehicle, really. You know, looking over my shoulder, looking at the mirrors and all that stuff has been no problem, especially considering, you know, the camera system and all that stuff. So yeah, all vehicles have blind spots. It's just something you have to get accustomed to when you first start driving it, and then it becomes a non-issue, really. So if you're wondering what the window sticker looks like, here it is. So it has some information. As you can see, there's a lot of blank spots here. So usually I have this, you know, detailed scrolling in the video at the end, but as you can tell, there's not a whole lot here. There's some basic information, but it's not, you know, detailed. What I will have is a trim, details about the different trims and what's included and pricing and all that stuff in the description. And if there's not enough room in the description, I'll have a link for it. But, you know, have much more information than this. So, sage gray is the exterior color, and it was final assembly point in Alabama. Other than that, doesn't really tell you much. So if it just in normal drive mode here, just want to accelerate. So even the normal sport mode feels really good. It has that, you know, kind of punchy acceleration. Once you get the RPMs up, it takes off, and the dual clutch transmission really helps out with that, giving it that, you know, strong lockup and acceleration. Now at short distances, or like if you're trying to creep forward, like say in a parking spot, or you're in a small area and just kind of trying to creep forward, the dual clutch transmission kind of like is a little annoying sometimes because it wants to either go or stop, and it doesn't really want to creep. but once you get used to it, it's not really a big deal. It's just, you know, it's just that type of system. But as far as driving like this, that's what it's made for. It feels really good. So it's much more fun to drive than, say, the Honda Ridgeline, right? Now this vehicle is kind of like a more compact version of a Honda Ridgeline, and it checks like the boxes for like a lot of people that want a quote truck, right? They just want to have a vehicle that they can put like a chair or a big box in the back, or pick up a dryer or something like that if they need to, and occasionally they need to move something in the back of a truck, right? So they don't necessarily need a big full-size truck. This is like a compact SUV with a little bed back there. And so you can kind of use it when you want. And this one has the cover, and so you can put stuff back there. And it's like a little enclosed cargo area, but also you can move the cover out of the way, and you can put like you pick up something in the back of the truck, tie it down, and you kind of have a good amount of the benefits of having a pickup truck, right? Now this one has some limitations as far as that, like the size, of course. But also the back seat area, right? So a lot of trucks have a larger back seat. This one, like the Honda Ridgeline and just trucks in general, have a fairly decent large back seat. This one's very compact. So car seats, maybe kids, that kind of thing in the back, maybe an adult. Sometimes you just have to compromise here on the front seats. So that's really the biggest limitation really on this vehicle, is the back seat. That little bed is fine. I mean, from a lot of people, that's going to be fine. You have decent, like towing capabilities as well. And, it's an all-wheel drive vehicle as well, this one. So yeah, it's pretty cool looking too. So it's a cool looking, like a little sport truck type thing. And, so yeah, and it doesn't drive like a truck, right? It drives like an SUV. It's much more smooth. There's no wheel hop or anything like that. You don't have that big cumbersome feel like some, trucks have. Like even small trucks, like the ride quality isn't all that great. So this has that really good ride quality. That's where the Honda Ridgeline was excelling, right? So then they came out with this. So, this is a little bit different price point and a little bit different target audience, I guess, or target market. Because, there is a smaller trunk on this one. The Ridgeline has a much more functional trunk. But other than, and a little bit, definitely a much more functional bed. Like if you want something that's going to be more similar to like a full-size truck, the Ridgeline is going to be able to handle that a lot better than this one. But, this one, I think it looks really good. I think it's cool looking. And if you're not hauling sheets of plywood and drywall and stuff like that on a regular basis, this one can handle almost everything, you know? I mean, if you're putting like really long boards back there, 10-foot little boards, it's just not gonna work very well. It's gonna hang out too much because it's a small bed, right? But yeah, if you just want to put some, you know, like a large box or something like that, it's not really good for construction workers is what I'm saying. It's more for just the casual picking up stuff at the store, you know, moving a friend's, you know, recliner or something like that, picking up a dryer, these type of tasks. But you know, overall driving it, I like the way what they did with the interior, with the shelf over here, and just overall, it's very simple and easy to use. Hyundai has a really good layout now, I think, with the system's fairly intuitive and easy to use over here. The lane keep assist system, it has a little wiggle sometimes in the steering wheel, if you can see that. It has a little wiggle sometimes. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I experienced that in the Kia EV6 a few years ago. It was a 2022 model, so I guess they still have that, you know, something going on there. It works fine. It holds the lane nicely, right? It just has a little wiggle sometimes. I wonder if it's wiggling to see if you're holding the steering wheel. I don't know. But even if I'm holding the steering wheel, still keep moving my hand. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But it is enjoyable to drive, I think. It's definitely more fun to drive than the Ridgeline, okay? Because that acceleration and you know, power and acceleration just feels really good. The Honda Ridgeline is a little bit of a, I don't know, it's not as satisfying as far as the acceleration, and it's a little bit, the engine's a little bit whiny and stuff like that. So yeah, it's okay, but I just enjoy driving this better, right? All right, so let's go ahead and put it in sport mode. Oh yeah, it's fun to drive. Sport, I don't really care for sport mode. Normal mode is fine. To me, it doesn't hold the RPMs up between shifts and stuff. It's just to me, normal is fine. I get the acceleration that I want, and you know, I don't have to worry about it. Like sport mode is, you just like, is keeping the engine at a higher RPM, so that way you can get into that acceleration range. Like when you're just kind of cruising along, the RPMs go down, and so it has to rev back up to get that turbo going, and you know, feel that power. So the sport mode's going to, that's one of the things that it does. The steering feels a little bit stiff. It's not as easy to turn as I thought it might be, but a lot of Hyundais are really easy to turn. But this one feels a little stiff, you know. It's not like bad or anything. It's just a little bit stiffer than I thought it was going to be. It has more of a sport feel, you know. That's usually associated with a sport feel. And with the dual clutch transmission, it does have the paddle shifters if you like that kind of thing. That definitely would make more sense with a dual clutch. But to me, I think that I kind of see this as like a two adults seater, right? The back seat is just not, that's the biggest limitation to me on this vehicle for what they're going for. If they had a little bit more back seat room, then you're basically having the SUV experience, and then the bed is a plus, right? But right now it's like you're compromising back seat room. So let's say you don't have any kids and you're just like you, then it's fine, right? Maybe you and another adult. But if you start having kids, small kids like car seats and stuff like that, probably no problem, maybe one. But then when you start getting, you know, more people that you're carrying with you, then it becomes an issue with the back seat, really. It's just too small. So there's something to consider. It's not really, there's a lot of people that, you know, they just drive by themselves, right? You know, like they don't really have a lot of, they're not carrying around an entourage everywhere they go. And if you're doing that, then this isn't really the vehicle for you. Now, it could be a side vehicle, like say this is your truck that you need to haul something or whatever, you know, maybe pick up something on the weekend, or maybe go fishing with it, or, you know, do something with it. But as like a main, you know, daily driver, It's not really that great for getting groceries either. Like that little trunk in the back is just too small for anything more than just a few things. And so yeah, like that's another limitation as far as like the practicality of it, the back seat and the trunk. And because basically they're putting the spare tire into there, and so the trunk is very shallow. I think it measures like 7 inches or something. So it's like, you know, if you got a large head of lettuce from the grocery store, you know, it might not fit in there, right? So it's like, it's okay, but it's not as ideal as it could be, I guess. You know, like the Ridgeline, right? The Ridgeline has a large trunk, and it's very well done for groceries and all kinds of different things you can use that trunk for, and being able to access the trunk by moving the tailgate out of the way. This one doesn't have that, you know, side opening tailgate. That's another thing about the trunk. It's like you have to lean over the tailgate, and you know, especially like when it's pollen season, like now, you're leaning over a pollen covered tailgate and you get your clothes all dirty trying to reach the trunk. So there's little things like that, you know, it's things to consider when you're buying this vehicle. You know, some of those things might not be factors at all for you, but at least you know, you're aware of them when you're making your decision, right?